All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me the truth, and peace, love, and mercy, and safety to the hopeful elect out there. All right, the topic right now is the scripture Romans chapter 10, verse 2, speaking about the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans having a zeal, but not according to knowledge. They have a zeal towards Yahweh, Bashim outside, but they don't have a zeal according to knowledge. For instance, Israelites, for instance, let's say my family members, some of them, most of them are God-fearing. They have the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai within them, but they don't call him by his true name. They call him by God, which is the word God is a title. It's not his true name. They say Jesus. That's an example of having a zeal towards God, but not towards Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, but not having a zeal of knowledge. Understanding. Trying to figure out. Not being obsessed with the Lord. I wrote some notes down. While I was studying this topic is Jake. He knows. Like for instance, Jake. He knows the devil is a white man. Some Israelites, Esau be fucking with Jake. But the average Jake just leaves it at that. They don't go forward. They don't try to find solutions or why society or shits like this. Why the work situation or their life is all messed up. They don't seek the Lord to find the answers to their life. Answers to life. They just they try to find answers in the world. They go to the world. They go to their oppressors. To find the answers instead of going to the Creator, their Heavenly Father. Yeah, they just leave it at that. Jake doesn't even attempt to seek why or find a solution. And I wrote down, roughly paraphrasing that scripture, those who seek the Lord early shall find him. Those who are obsessed with the Lord, who have a zeal towards knowledge, they will find the Lord. Like for instance, in my case, I've always wanted to know what happens to you after you die. And I was looking in the world, looking on YouTube, looking to family members, people who've been on this earth for a while, and I could, there's always been a mixed answer. There's always been, oh, this happens to you, oh, this happens to you. And there wasn't no for sure stable foundation answer. And when you dive down into the scriptures, the scriptures have the answer. The Bible. I ain't talking about the Christians out there, the wacky-tacky Christians. They don't have the answer to what happens to you after you die. But the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, this true gospel, this true song that's being sung by the men of the Lord's servants, the prophets, who are back on this earth today, who were back then, they got the answers. They got the answers and the mysteries of the kingdom, because the Lord blessed them with it, And what happens to you after you die is, everybody goes, even the devil, even what I mean by the devil, I'm talking about, our enemy, even the wicked people, and even in the nation of Israel, if you're wicked or not, even the animals, you go up to the heavens and you meet the Lord again, and you get judged, and then you come back on this earth again, and you get judged again. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. After a man wants to die, not wants to, like I want to, wants to die. He's I'm butchering it again. I'm butchering the scripture again, but you're sent back on this earth again to face your judgment of your past life. But, I'm going on a tangent, but and let me just bring out the scripture. Romans, Slakia, is Romans. Blue letter, Slakia. What the hell is this happening? Alright. This is Romans chapter 10. I'm going to start at verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh, they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. That's the main topic, that's the point of the lesson. Verse 3, for they, being ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness, for they, being ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness, you hear that? That's the characteristic of, the Israelites, who have a zeal towards God, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness. Do you hear that? What does that sound like? I'm going to keep going. Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yahweh. That scripture saying, I'm going to bring it out. Give me one moment. I think this is it. This is Isaiah chapter 64, verse 6. But we are all as unclean as an unclean thing, and all of our righteousness are as filthy rags. We all do fade away. No, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away. I'm going to read it again. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all of our righteousnesses are as filthy rags. According to the Most High, our righteousness is, like filthy rags. What we think, our own, understanding on things is like dirty rags to the Most High. That scripture saying, for instance, don't lean to your own understanding. We shouldn't be leaning into our own understanding. I think I spelled it wrong. For instance, the nation of Israel, we tend to lean onto our own understanding on things, on certain scriptures and precepts, like for instance, like the mark of the beast. Some jakes, I don't know if they're blind or not, or they're being deceived or not, but we like to, some Israelites would be like, the mark of the beast, when they break it down themselves, they'll be, they'll think, the mark of the beast is like, something else, besides the microchip, which, our RFID chip is the mark of the beast that the Bible's speaking of, All right, this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. You know, that's important for you to not lean unto your own understanding. You know, and to have a zeal towards knowledge. You know, we all have a zeal. I mean, not all of us, but Israel, we have a zeal towards God, towards Yahweh, but not all of us have a zeal towards knowledge of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna go to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. This is Proverbs. I'm gonna start at 1, chapter 4, verse 1. Hear ye children, the instruction of our father, and attend to know understanding, For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. Don't forsake the Lord's law. You know, that cuts you Christians who try to do away with the law, Verse 3, for I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Don't forget that, Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not. Don't forsake, wisdom, because the scriptures pertain wisdom as being female. Her. When scriptures say her, and it's speaking about wisdom. Wisdom in the scriptures is described as a woman. And it's another topic for another day. I'm gonna go to verse 6 again. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. And that's speaking about wisdom. Wisdom is going to keep you alive. Wisdom is going to keep you afloat in this life. In Babylon the Great, man. This treacherous, valley of death. Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Come on, man. And that's a characteristic of the men of the Lord. With all thy wisdom that the men of the Lord receive, they want to, they desire to get the understanding of these things, of these breakdowns. For instance, a simple thing is, yeah, there's a higher power, but what's his name? What's his true name? Because God isn't his true name. God is just a title. What's his true name? Yahweh. And what's his son's true name? Yahweh Shai. That's just one example, Yeah. And also, these scriptures, let's see, like, I don't want to use the mark of the beast too much. How much time is left? Okay, I got enough time. I don't know, man. Like the Sabbath. I was speaking to a family member about this. The Sabbath day is on Saturday or Friday. Every Saturday or Friday. When you go into the scriptures, when you really want to know, the day of rest, I've always wanted to know, because I knew it was a Sunday, and I was all bugged out, thinking it was Saturday, Friday. So I dove deeper into the scriptures. I was seeking the Lord. This was before I was talking to my family member. the scriptures, they speak about the men of the Lord. They tell me that uh, it's according to the new moon. This topic's for another day, but the Sabbath, when you celebrate the Sabbath, day of rest, it's off the new moon. So whenever the new moon is coming in, when the day, when the night has no moon shining, when the moon gives off no light during that day of the month, that's the first day of the month. That's the real first day of the month. And 7 days after that is another, is a day of rest. And then another day of rest of 7 days after that until the new moon, and that's why there's sometimes there's something called 2 days of rest, two holy days. What I mean by that, sometimes there's two, the new moon happens like right after, or right next to a day of rest, or a day after, or 2 days after, real close to each other. That's what the men of the Lord, that's what they're talking about when they say a double day of rest, a double holy day. It's not really a double holy day, it's the new moon is real close to, the 7th day of the week, the 7th day, the day of rest, the 7th day. But yeah, that's just that. I'm gonna bring out the definition of zeal and knowledge. I'm gonna go to entomology dictionary, into my online. I'm gonna type in zeal, so we all get the correct understanding. I guess this is zeal, Zeal, and it says passionate, adore, it's like a passionate adore in pursuit of an objective or course of action. From Old French, and directly from Latin emulation, zeal, emulation, adore, eager rivalry, emulation, noble passion, a noble passion. Nation of Israel, most of us have a noble passion towards, the Lord, towards Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, but not a zeal towards knowledge. But also jealousy, we're jealous with, knowing our Creator, like some Israelites are bugged out in Christianity, but they're zealous, they're jealous, passionate towards Christos, Jesus Christos, if you call him by something else, or so the Hausa is so-called black man, they get real mad, like, oh no, he's not, or there's a little trigger that goes off in their head, you know what I mean, if you've been there before. But yeah, man, that's the definition of zealous, zeal. I'll go to knowledge, because the nation of Israel, 2/3 don't have a zeal according to knowledge, the knowledge of the scriptures. Right, this knowledge, this is facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education, the theoretical or practical understanding of subject. To awareness or familiarity gained by experience or fact or situation. I'm gonna go to Intum online, type it in because I was just off Google. It says acknowledgement of a superior, honor, worship for first element. No, the second element is obscure, perhaps from Scandinavian, cognate with the lock action process found in wedlock. Okay, I don't think that's, capacity or knowing, understanding, familiarity, fact or condition of knowing, awareness of a fact. Also, news, notice, information, learning, organized body, facts or of facts or teachings, sense, sense of, you know, yeah, man. Acknowledgement of a superior power, honor, worship. But yeah, man. They don't, that's what I was speaking about when I said, I was speaking about the names of the men, names of the men of the Lord, the names of the Lord will be how, why Yahweh Shah. Israel, they don't have, zeal, a passion or acknowledgement of the Lord's names, their true names. They just leave it at Jesus or God. That's blasphemy. That's wicked. That's disrespectful towards your Creator. Your power. But yeah, that's all I wanted to bring out. Hope the elect out there were edified. And until next time, I say shalom.